Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. This is Dr. Rao. Welcome. Thanks for joining me. I'm basically trained in uh, allopathy, modern medicine. I got my MBBS way back in 1980 in Guntur, Andhra Pradesh, India. And then 1981, I came here and I did my geriatric medicine initially, a residency in Oak Forest Hospital, Oak Forest, Illinois. I fell in love with Chicago. And then I moved to New York and did my internal medicine residency. So I got the MDs there. Okay. And then I came back to Midwest because I love the Midwest culture and wanted to practice here. So I joined a practice in Iowa. And then I built up my own practice. I broke up with them after a year. And then I built up my own practice and practiced quite a while till 2019. And when I sold my clinic, and I was fortunate, I got the offer, and I was able to, because those clinics became a real dead weight after that. Okay, after the COVID, nobody wants to come to the clinics that much, right? So I was lucky, and then I kind of established a company called PAW to really promote wellness. I have seen so much illness in my practice. I wanted to help my patients to go to the roots of their illnesses and really attend to them and not to suffer chronic illness, chronic complications, and misery and all that, right? So that is how I became more involved in wellness. And now I developed a spectrum of wellness practices at personal level, at society level. That's what I'm going to talk about today, because that's my passion. That's what I want to spread my wings on and really help contribute whatever I can at the several aspects, right? So basically, my foundation of the BA was more like how can I really take the best of modern medicine, scientific medicine, and also how can I take the best of ancient wisdom, which I have been doing and learning for about 25 years now, since 85 maybe. So maybe 40 years, I don't know, but whatever, right? Sometimes too much, sometimes not. But then later on, once I established this practice, I brought all those things together. How do you do integrated yoga daily? How do you calm your mind? How do you sleep better? How do you really be free of illness but be well? And all those things from the ancient wisdom. I learned a lot. I'm still learning, and I'm sharing with whatever I learned from that. Okay, so that has been going on. But then I wanted to put this into a philosophy, into a way that people can understand and get benefited by the services. Okay. So that's why I'm kind of coming and talking about these things. I'm right in the middle of doing two important things. How do I tackle AI? And there is a, how do you really be yourself after the AI takes over, and how the AI is going to influence the mind and the body and all that, right? So I kind of developed how do you awaken your intelligence to deal with AI and the consequences, okay? From AI to awakened intelligence. There's going to be a course, there's going to be a webinar, that's going to be a workshop, things like that, okay? The other thing was, how do we go and attend to the corporations, and how do we develop the conscious workforce in corporations? That's the second one. These two are the major projects I'm working on, to provide a course, to provide a book, to provide a webinar, and just to introduce them. The initial one will be tomorrow. I'm going to introduce you all that is coming on, and then make it available for you for your use. Okay, so this is more like not a business, more like a service. How can we help life? How can we help people to live better? That's the impetus behind it. So let me introduce you to the lotus of proactive wellness. What it is I always want people to be proactive about their wellness aspects of it. Okay, how do you keep your body healthy? How do you keep your mind healthy? How do you keep your heart healthy? And like that. Okay, so it's not only at the personal level. That's one aspect we do, but also at the uh, society level and all that. So those are the five aspects I'm going to describe them to you so that you will understand what this is all about. Okay, personal wellness is for me more about inner revolution. It's not just take care of the body, which is given, which is not keep it free of illness, and then uh, do the lifestyles that will not compromise your physical health. Okay, but what it is if you understand your inner self, you kind of go to a revolution in your inner being that is much more profound and long lasting and easy for you to do. Okay, so personal wellness is focused on not just the comprehensive self care, which has the four pillars of wellness: the physical wellness, body wellness, and with the nutrition, that is the one pillar, and optimal exercise, moving the body, second pillar, and sleeping well, qualitative sleep, that is the third pillar, and the fourth pillar is calming the mind in this rapid world, in this information overload world. And then second vertical of my BFL ecosystem is professional wellness. How do we heal the healers? How do we heal the leaders? How do we really help people who are providing a lot of services and lot of professional services not to be stressed out or burned out? Okay, all my programs for the coaching of the burnout, coaching of the IT stress, and also helping corporate leaders to be servant leaders. That's all in that professional wellness. Also, this new thing, corporate workforce that is really enlightened, that is really understanding what are the advantages and dangers of the AI. Okay, and then really being proactive about it. It's all under the proactive wellness. Okay, and the third vertical, first one is the personal, second one is the professional, and third one is what do we do with the society as a whole, from individuals to communities. How do we do that? Because how do we help the societal trends? Like, for example, healthcare system is all illness oriented. How do we really make them be more wellness oriented? It's a switch, really. It's a switch in the leadership. They are not doing all that because it's not reimbursed very well. Now it's a whole healthcare system based on revenue, and we spend a lot of money, but still patients are left alone, like proceed into chronic illness and problems and nursing homes and all that. So that is the reality. So if I can influence leaders of the societies or corporations, I think it will be much better. That's why the third vertical is on societal wellness. Okay, and then technology is the reality. Technology, we have to use it. I am fond of using technology, but I don't want to become a slave to that, right? So I want to get the best of technology without really being burned by it. So I'm a very fierce advocate of EMR, electronic medical records in hospitals. I kind of took interest, I kind of learned, I kind of taught, I kind of encouraged the hospital to implement, and now I'm a consultant on how they can improve the patient quality care by using technology, right? So I would love to do that. Because before, the patient data was in patient's chart in the hospital. To get the physical copy of it was a big deal, and then not it was silos. It is kind of not available that easily. But now with EMR, you can see it from anywhere. That kind of thing. So I do love the technology. I follow it, and now I'm into artificial intelligence learning. But also I will move to quantum computing. Okay, what is coming up and all that. Okay, so technological wellness means not only knowing and taking advantage of the technology, but also being aware of what are the problems we have. We have attention deficit, we have a lot of ADHD, we have a lot of problems related to health, lack of sleep, not eating well, and also problems with posture, problems with sitting down too much. All those things are there, right? So we want to address to those things, those lifestyles, those kind of habits before they become problem and hurt your wellness. Okay? That way, technology is learned, used, but also being cautious about it and making it a tool, not our boss. Okay, and then last one is I'm very much worried about the planet from 1980s. So I was in the ecology, how the economy is really turning into mindless consumption, and that is really causing problems to the weather. And we knew about it since 80s, but nobody listened. Okay, so I'm interested in ecology, economy, and the ethics involved in maintaining the planetary wellness. Okay, so under one heading, proactive wellness, we want to make sure individual people personally they're well, and also they when they are working, their professional place and the professional people and them are well. Okay, and in this doctors also come because I teach the burnout for the doctors, right? And then third one is how do we help the society to live the long-term trends and take care of it, then how do the technologies influencing our wellness and take care of that way. And also what are we contribute to the planet to be well, healthy, so that we're not polluting it. We already did a lot of damage, and it's almost at the peril of the entire planet. So we do, I believe that we do personally have responsibility to be responsible about our planet, and which I do sincerely. I go and talk to so many associations, individuals, and rooms, and tell them simple life is better than having all this unnecessary thing. Plastic is bad, things like that. Okay, you know what I mean. So these are all the five verticals of the PAW ecosystem. I call that like a lotus, each layer of the lotus, right? But they cannot be excluded one to other. Okay. Once you understand what we are talking about, you get the picture. Okay. So let's go a little bit detail about personal wellness. Okay. Like I told you already, the four pillars of wellness we talk about. But then there is more in the ancient wisdom about our inner self. Okay, outward four pillars, that's fine, but inward the people were more caught up in their thinking, and too much thinking, negative thinking, or too much worry, too much depression, all this related to thinking. Okay, so but I found that ancient cultures, they were not enamored by the thinking as much, they were landed in awareness. So my inner revolution consists of cultivating awareness, self-regulation, and inner joy through the fusion of modern medicine, yoga, and Advaita Vedanta. So this is the foundation of all wellness, the journey inward to discover the source of that lasting peace and vitality. So what are the core practices and pathways in this? Okay, how can you live simply? What can you look at things that are really complicating your daily routine? Be aware of that and be purposeful. What is the purpose? So I have a 7 and 30-day challenges. People can participate. Then uh, one fundamental thing is we are always thinking outwardly. We are letting our senses go outward, intellect go outward, read stuff, know stuff. But then the real wisdom is inward, turning inward. Why? And what is the path of self inquiry? That is what I want to teach people to. Then the biggest thing is the art of self realization. How can you turn intuitively inward and realize who you are? Beyond the mind, that intelligence. That is what is involved in that. And then also really have attention span improved. Okay, so this is the healing of the age of distraction. We are the age of distraction. We have so many distractions coming at us, right? How can we heal that? How can we improve attention? That's what I talk about all the time. And then in terms of nutrition, a conscious plate. So returning to the real, organically grown, naturally grown, free of chemicals, that food that is made quick and then that's not transported or all that, that fresh food, seasonal food you want to eat for real health. So I call this conscious plate. How can you be aware of what you are eating, how you are preparing, how you are disposing the waste, all that. Okay, and then I teach a framework called AEIOU. These are all for the inner revelation of for the personal wellness. All these practices, awareness, energy, insight, OM, and universal consciousness, which I talk about in the morning report, morning routine, right? So the inward journey is the greatest discovery for me, and the healing of the seeker into seer. Okay, why when you turn the seeker looking for outward to seer who is really looking at everything from inside, that is the key for the ancient wisdom having a long life, well life, and a joyous life. They had that, and they had so many practices that they showed for that. We just have to get into that. Okay, uh, so once you understand personal wellness, then that's more like an inner revolution, complete looking at a different perspective, not saying, oh, what we know is the only thing. You got to be open. You got to be allowing those new things coming up to you and then help you. Okay, that's the first lotus I talked about, right? Lotus layer. Okay, the second one is professional wellness. How do we heal the healers, for example, okay, among physicians? Okay, so uh, I like to revive empathy and also purpose among physicians and nurses and entrepreneurs through holistic self-care, comprehensive self-care. So this is a world where caregivers are stretched beyond their limits in the hospitals. So um, we have to remember the healing begins with the healer. So when these professionals cultivate their own wellness, they become vessels of authentic healing for others. I cannot heal somebody if I'm sick. I'm not able to talk. I'm not able to do anything, right? So I devised what's called comprehensive self-care. CSC is a course. It's a webinars that I give. It's a talks I give and all that. What it is reclaiming that balance and working in balance in demanding environments. Hospitals are pretty demanding for us doctors, right? So that is a major part I pay, training healthcare workers about how to really do the comprehensive self-care for themselves. And it's a 12-week course I give, and they can come and understand that. And then uh, IT people, because I work in the uh, informatics, I know the IT people, I know what they are going through. Before they used to go home at 5 o'clock, but now they carry the laptop, so they are on work all the time. They are really burning out. They are really stressed out. So I do the master classes in how do you develop your inner resilience, and also how can you sustain this, what are the sustainable practice that they can learn about it. Okay, this is very important because more and more information overload coming, more and more data is coming. It's not the data problem, it is a problem of how you handle the excessive information, 24 hours stimulation, and really making people pay a big price in their marriages, in their relationships, all that, right? That that. So we also want to focus on the entrepreneurs. You know, uh, what happens for these people is they kind of get into so many things, and they're doing multitasking, and they have so many challenges because they have to deliver employment, they have to manage people, so you have to have some leadership skill too. So I kind of did a 30-day routine one time, all the entrepreneur problems and how we are really identifying them, how we are helping them, but also bringing ancient wisdom perspective into their daily lives that they could do very well. For example, I say, do one thing at a time, ekagrata. That means one pointed focus of attention, right? So that is what I like. That I took all the problems up because I was an entrepreneur. I built my own clinic, I ran it, and I kind of knew the economic problems. Employment problems and all that, right? So many people come and go, personnel, there's so many regulations. I know about entrepreneurship quite well in the United States, so that I kind of very sympathetic, especially women. Women entrepreneurship, I wrote a book, small book too, how they can handle themselves better. Okay, that is the third one. Okay, and then servant leadership and emotional intelligence is very important for the corporate leaders, which is actively I teach. I teach them how to be making their leadership into a service, and also maintain their own emotional uh, inner balance so that they can display with other people too. And then um, I do teach in the morning routine that I do about how do you develop your own inner resilience to handle storms in life. Today we talked about stillness in the middle of storm. Okay, so all these are because we are too much doing, too little being. I want to create a balance that become your medicine. You see, once you have that, that will be very easy to do the job and also enjoy the job. And also be good. Because if not us, now it's time for hello. I think there's a lot of disturbance there. Okay. Please come back when you have some silence behind you, Ruth. Okay. So this is the second one. We looked at the personal wellness and look at the professional wellness, right? So now we're going to go to the third one, okay? Which is the societal, right? Which is what we talked about briefly. I'm going to go a little bit detail into that. So how do we all think we are only individuals, but the reality is we are only one human tribe. And the ancients point out to me the oneness of all our energy together. Physics tells me now that we are all only one energy. And we may identify as individuals and community, but in the real life force, in the consciousness, we are only one. Okay? So, how do you understand these divisions and understand this identification as individual or individual communities, whatever, and bring them all together? So, that is where I kind of initiated this paradigm shift from healthcare to more like a take care of yourself. Just take responsibility. So that is the proactive wellness. Be proactive about your wellness, not somebody telling you preventative exam and then telling you do this, but you take responsibility for that and you take advantage of the advances in the scientific medicine and also real good tested thing, time tested things in the ancient wisdom for centuries. Okay, they had this oneness. They had this vasudhaiva kutumbakam. That means all living creatures are in one family, are only one family. Okay, so that means the trees, the animals, everything. So we have to really work for the ecological balance too. Okay, I have some programs I did what's called NEW, that is nurturing, and E for elderly, wise people. I want people as they age live in dignity and purpose, not just like vegetables and serving communication. We can take any of these elderly people and then engage them in some things that they would love to do, and also help them to really form a meaning and purpose. Okay, that is the focus of that. So suppose somebody comes to me in this program, they may learn something of new yoga, or they may learn something about the breathing or meditation, or they may learn about nature connection, or they may learn about really having good recipes that are vital for them and nutrition, and also they may have a customized program of exercise for them, like that. Okay, that's a program evolved because I was a geriatric person to begin with, and the medicine I did, and I understood what are the problems after 60 years, and how the society is really castigating them to nursing homes or elder homes without really creating some quality in their life. I strive very hard for that, and I'm very proud of that too. Okay, so I took care of my mom, I took care of my sisters, and all. Even now, I spend time with my elderly sisters and all that, because I want them to have, some quality, some kind of. While I'm the only friend, lots of times they have. I'm only one who calls them, asks them. But try to do that because it's my duty, like. So I always talk, take care of them while they're alive and kicking, not when they're gone, then they're remembering them and then feeling guilty that I did not spend enough time with the people. Okay. So, and then I work very hard on the patient physician partnership, where patient is equal to physician in his healthcare responsibility, right? So, patient has all the rights to ask about the questions on the what is going on with his health, what are the tests doing, what are the plans, and all that. Okay, I really promoted that in the hospital quite a bit. Patient care conferences and doing them properly now. And then, as a society, we need to have education about this inner awakening. Okay, that is something people don't learn about themselves. Okay, how do you learn to see clearly? Okay, so that is something I kind of engage people in meetings and everything, so that they can learn about this intelligence that we have, not the just chatter of our mind, but behind that. Okay, so see, true healthcare is the art of cultivating wholeness, body, mind, and community. That's where this all comes from. Okay, so that is the third one, society. Okay, and the fourth one, like I talked about, technology. Right, this is a big deal because what we are going through is one of the biggest changes in the AI, is the biggest technological thing, and I'm learning. I am a member of several committees, and then I attend the meetings and learn a lot. I have so many apps, I have so many automations, I have so many ways that AI is doing when I'm sleeping. Okay, so harnessing this artificial intelligence with consciousness. Yeah, artificial intelligence out there, the technology, but how I handle with consciousness. Actually, you can democratize wellness for all. Technology, when guided by wisdom, become an extension of human compassion. Our approach integrates cutting-edge AI with timeless wellness principles that I understand, ensuring that innovation serves awakening, not distraction. Many people are getting distracted, but then I want them come and use that. Okay, yes, that is awakening that I am always talk about. Okay? So AI for proactive wellness is something that I really conjured up. What it is it's responsible for AI for healthcare. But there I say ethics first and then do, right? And then BFL has this GPD board of advisors. See, AI powered by awareness. That's coming up. Okay. And then AI wellness pilot programs I have. How can you use AI to propagate yoga exercises, breathing exercises, and also how can you take all the data from those people who are practicing with me to be having this integration. Hi, Jacob. So it's a question of understanding. And then morning wellness coach GPT, something I created, and then we'll be working on more so that your daily companion for what is conscious living. How do I attend to whatever I do? How am I aware of what I'm doing? I'm not doing out of habit. I'm not doing out of somebody's propaganda, nothing like that. Okay. So that is something you want to understand. So these are the technological things I'm kind of conjuring up and doing them, and you will listen more of them as you go up. Okay. And then finally, what do we do for the planet? Remember the personal, professional, societal, technological, and the fifth one is how do we work for the planetary wellness? How do we ecology improve, economy improve, and also do it with ethics? Okay, so I have been working with the farmers for proactive wellness. Iowa is a farmland, so soil health is equal to human health. So reconnecting to the source, okay, water supply also, okay, and then how can we really do innovation nation campaign? That means tech plus tradition for renewal. We were doing that in India, but here also. And then also, how do we do a national renaissance? So health as a foundational progress. And also, I am a global citizen. I don't identify any particular reason. I may have affection for India and the US for different reasons, but doesn't mean I exclude other things. I'm a global citizen. We are all one human tribe. Okay, so we have an issue connecting healers across borders. Okay, so when humanity heals, the earth breathes again. But humanity is not in order inside, and they do the rampant consumption and then use all the resources without consideration for the future. Okay, so that is those are the lotus of my proactive wellness program, starting with personal, going into professional, and going into societal, technology, and planet. Okay, how does that sound to you? Is that too far away or something unbelievable? Whatever you feel, come and tell me about how you feel about it. Okay, so it's a question of understanding where we are and what we can do and what is our capacity. Okay, and these are all evolved. These are all programs I use for different purposes, and that people really understand them and appreciate them who are taking it. Not only they become more like productive human beings, very well human beings that are living longer, better, and are living in joy, not just like that. Okay, so this is a lotus ecosystem map. Is central lotus is BA, the company. Okay, radiating 5 petals of wellness. Each petal symbolizes a vertical that expands outward from the center, creating a holistic ecosystem of proactive wellness. This is healing from self outward, from the individuals to the infinite. This living ecosystem demonstrates how wellness at one level supports and amplifies wellness at every other level. The center holds the vision, and each petal extends that vision into tangible transformation. That's why I call this the lotus of proactive awareness. Okay, so this is not theory, or this is not something I cannot do. I kind of combine the synthesis of science and also what is called gnana, that is ancient wisdom of knowledge of our inner self. Okay, all the vijnana means all the technology and everything that we built up, but the inner knowledge is something like that. In the modern medicine, we use evidence-based interventions, right? That's fine. And I have done a lot of evidence-based protocol work. And then we use advanced diagnostics and treatment because of our technology. And we also have some preventive healthcare system, but I wish it is more, And also, we are in the era of data-driven validation. I'm an informatician. I have a master's in biomedical informatics, so I know what is the value of the data and how to use that to improve patient care. Okay, from the ancient viewpoint, I do yoga and meditation practices whereby mind is quiet and all that. I go pretty advanced on that. And then also I have this Advaita philosophy, which said we are all one. The whole human tribe is only one. Okay. And then also that what you are inside as a conscious being is your essence. Okay. And then we inquire about that, we are aware of that, and then we use that in holistic mind body integration. Okay. That's where the ancient wisdom comes in. So I think the future of wellness lies not in choosing between science and spirituality, but in the conscious integration. So I wish my BA represent this bridge, honoring not only the precision of modern medicine while embracing the profound wisdom of contemplative traditions. Together, they create a complete path to wholeness. This synthesis of modern medicine and ancient wisdom allows us to address not just symptoms, but root causes. Not just disease, but the cultivation of vibrant health. Not just individual healing, but collective transformation. I hope that makes sense for you guys and really helps you to understand where I'm coming from, what I'm doing, and what are my activities, how they could be helpful for you. Okay. So, anybody has any comments or you want to contribute to what I'm saying here? Is that making clear sense or is that too complicated? For those who want complete picture, you can go back and listen to that entire talk and you will understand better. I will stop there and wait for people to come up and ask me questions, and I'll give a few moments. If nobody is coming up, then we can take leave, and then I'll go and do my stuff. Everybody seems to be listening, but not telling me what do they feel about it, what do they think about it, how many of these are they doing. Things are going on. People are getting ill, and but lots of times they don't have to. And people are in dark about some things that they could do in their own life. Okay. Hmm. So it's a question of understanding the complex nature of this, and it's not coming up. Okay. It all depends upon how much you are thinking outside of when you get ill, you go and seek help. That's one thing. But how much time did you invest about thinking, how can I prevent this? How can I live better? That's where, the inspiration is from the ancient wisdom, because there are thousands of years of people living very long time, and not only just living, but in vitality, and also enjoyed their life and contributed to the life quite a bit. Okay, those kind of things are there too. So Jacob is asking whether I am on the clubhouse. I'm not on the clubhouse right now, Jacob. So I'm trying to get you on this one. I don't know. It says Jacob is unable to join there on the Instagram. So, all right, if you are all okay with it, whether you got it or not, I did my job. I did present it. So whether you engage it or not depends upon how you involved are you. Hi Janet, come up. At least you can come up and tell me all. What do you think the petals of this lotus? Five petals, five layers of petals. There are a lot in each layer of petals. Personal takes a lot of time because many people are really many people are not interested in the looking at beyond their family or beyond their health. But then you need to understand healthcare system as a whole, and you need to understand the economics and politics and everything involved. And you need to, I believe, that everybody has to assume self-responsibility for their own wellness, right? And then that is where it all starts from. My job is to share with them whatever the information that can help them to develop those knowledge, skills, and maneuvering to the society and health systems so that they are much more better consumers of that. Okay, and also it's not just personal health, but also uh, what do you do with the workplace you do? What do you do with the society you're living in? What do you do with the planet? What do you do with the technological society that we have? All this. Okay. Um, so this is a kind of understanding from which also it's an inner revolution coming out from the PAW, which is like an inner orientation, inner resilience, all that, right? And then spreading to each wing. Okay. Thank you. And if nobody is interested to come and talk about this, uh, so I will close it here and I'll come back to you whenever I can. Bye bye.